Did you sense that something was off before the gunshot rang out? Kind of paint the picture for us.
I don't want to lead too much into it, but
Yeah, Blake, don't get too much into it because, why would we want you to get too much into it? But don't worry, guys, he's going to get into it. And we're going to find out that Blake had a bad feeling. And oddly enough, he was scanning the roofs. So let's hear from Blakey Boy about this bad feeling he had when he got to campus.
after it happened, I talked to some other members of the team, and several of us did say we experienced some sort of unsettling feeling. I think for me, it was that it was in this amphitheater, which really emphasized like the size of the crowd, but also it emphasized the buildings in the background. And actually, for the first few minutes, before Charlie walked out, I remember I was scanning. I was just looking around idly, like, oh, where would someone be if something happened? And I didn't think too much of it. I stopped, by the time Charlie came out.
So several people commented on this unsettling feeling. I wonder what several people were in on that feeling. Could it be Brian Harple? 1, 2, Dan, whatever his name is, Flood. 3, Mikey McCoy. 4, Farnsworth. 5, the tech guy next to him. 6, Blake Neff. And 7 would be the other security guy that's adjusting his arm with the sunglasses. Could it be those 7? Probably those 7. And then he says he was scanning the roofs. That's interesting because it turned out to be, Tyler Robinson happened to come from the roof. So that worked out really well for this narrative, didn't it, Blake?
But I immediately thought back to that as soon as it happened. When it did, I would say I was about 10 feet to Charlie's left when it happened, and it was just it's that one of those moments that'll crystallize in your mind forever.
Stutter. Well, Blake over here, this is what he was doing over to Charlie's left. There he is with his phone in his hands, which, if you focus in on him for this whole event, he seems nervous and preoccupied the entire time looking down on his phone. The shot goes off, and Blakey over here, you're going to see where he is. Blake doesn't even see if his friend's okay. The second it happens, see, we're going to have Frank Turk do the hat thing, scratch his nose, and then Dan Flood, who is in the black. We've all seen this a million times. The arm movement signal, and that guy's taking a picture. The shot goes off. He rotates his camera. And here comes Blake. Right there. Doesn't even wait to see what happens.
The pop, and it's not completely clear immediately what it is. But then I looked to my right and I saw immediately what it was, and I'll never forget it.
No. And was there a thought? I mean, obviously Charlie's got great security that I know got to him immediately. These guys are incredibly well trained. I know Dan, I know everybody, I know the whole team.
Interesting that Brian Harple ran this little training business with a man named Justin. And Justin just so happened to be the emergency getaway driver on the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Shall I share what I found?
Now, this was the getaway driver. I'm sorry, this was the emergency driver. It was the getaway driver, Justin Davis, who worked with Brian Harple at this company they started called Consolidated Training Group. So they actually prepared people for events such as what happened to Charlie Kirk on September 10th. And unfortunately, that training must have went all out the window as they hauled his body like a sack of shit into the back of an SUV. For an unfair price, at Consolidated Training Group, they believe, like life, firearms training should be multidimensional. Word salad language in the beginning. How lovely. Let's see. It says that our training philosophy maximizes the use of proven techniques through the below listed 4 dimensions. and for higher cost per dimension, don't forget. The training may be completed at one of our selected training facilities or at a qualified location requested by the end user. Funny how we go through all these dimensions in this consolidated training group: observe, orient, decide, and act as part of their motto. And yet when Charlie Kirk was shot, or I don't know, a device exploded underneath him, like that microphone, the lapel mic, allegedly, we see absolutely none of that training put into work. If you recall, this is more like what we saw. Are these part of the dimensions of the consolidated training group, Brian Harple and Justin Davies? Is this what you were teaching your paying customers to do during events like, I don't know, the only person you're supposed to protect get exploded somehow and a neck wound subsequently? But I digress. Here are all the affiliations with this consolidated training group. Many. Look at all those associations.
And I'm sure they got him the medical attention immediately that he needed, got him where he, to higher medical facilities at the hospital. And, but Stop, folks! Stop! Back up! So when that happened, did it seem surreal in the sense? Did it seem like Butler? Did it seem like everyone sort of scatters, or was it just kind of as confusing as it sounds?
It was definitely confusing, but it was also, it was, how to describe it? It was clear what had happened. There was only one shot. We all immediately saw what had happened. You're correct. The security got him immediately, got him into the car immediately, got him out immediately. They could not have done their job on that front any better.
I like how he talks in terms of definitive. They couldn't have done it any better. What do you mean? Anybody could have done a better job. They didn't even let the EMTs help poor Charlie. Those bags were sitting right there. The EMTs were walking right by the tent before this even happened. I'll show you footage of that. They didn't let them help. Of course they could have done a better job. And Blake's saying, we know what happened. It was one shot. Okay, but it was somehow confusing. But you know exactly what happened in that moment. Yeah, okay. Seems so rehearsed. So here you're going to see the cop walk by. This is like mere seconds before the shot. And maybe a minute, actually. And then here comes the EMT, who didn't help because the security wouldn't let him.
And then at that point, it was, what do we do? And I know on my end, I think the first thing I did was I sent a message to, I opened Telegram and I went to our turning point thing and I said, lockdown turning point. I imagined they'd already seen it too, but I just said,
okay, Blake, why are you on Telegram first thing telling people to lock down turning point if you just said in the previous statement you knew exactly what happened? It was one shot. That was it. Why would you need to tell them in Arizona to lock down turning point? You knew exactly what happened, I thought you just said.
lock it down. Something happened. Do it right ASAP. And then I'll be honest, I called my mom because I didn't know if there would be anyone else out there, if anything else would happen. So I just called my mom and said immediately, I can't say more, but Mom, Charlie got shot. I love you. I have to go. And then from there, I met up with some other members of the team. We got to the hospital within, I'd say, about 25 minutes or so. And the rest of the day unfolded from there.